Today we will dive into the meanings of the Four of Wands. The meanings of tarot cards come from various sources. The most common are the position of the tarot cards on the Tree of Life, astrological correspondences, the symbolic imagery of the tarot cards, and meanings that pertain to fortune telling. The Four of Wands represents Chesed in Atziluth, the sphere of grace, benevolence, and mercy in the spiritual world. Astrologically, it corresponds to the third decade of Aries, which is ruled by Mars. The third decade belongs to Sagittarius, which is ruled by Jupiter. Hence, this card represents a combined influence of Aries, Sagittarius, Mars, and Jupiter. Jupiter is associated with the tarot card the cycles or wheel of fortune, whose path emanates from Chesed. As you can see, the Four of Wands has a strong, benevolent, and expansive influence. That's where Jupiter's titles, the Greater Fortune and Master of the Destinies of Man, come from. As a power, Jupiter represents the ability to align one's personal activities with the cyclic movements of cosmic energies. Countless cycles are going on in the universe and the solar system and on planets at the same time. The Mayans measured quite a few earthly cycles. The sun cycle, of course, but also the moon cycle, the Venus cycle, and the Mayan long count, which spans 5,125 years. Horary astrology and feng shui calculate cosmic and planetary cycles and interpret the impact of those cycles on human life. These calculations allow to determine auspicious moments for undertakings like launching a business, moving house, or marrying. Further, feng shui can analyze homes and offices and optimize the influx of benevolent forces into these spaces. For the Four of Wands, Paul Foster Case offers the keyword perfected work. He gives the following auspicious meanings: success through personal merit, the perfection of something built up after labor, and gain after uncertainty. All these are consequences of patient work and properly timed business transactions. But I don't agree with Paul's use of the word work and labor. Work and labor are matters of Malkuth. The Four of Wands represents a spiritual intentional power. The Four of Wands indicates that the querent is at the beginning of a series of fortunate events if she times, plans, and manages her undertakings properly. She will still have to rack her brain, toil, fail, and learn, and persist to prevail over periods of uncertainty and achieve the desired result in the external world. Paul gives the following inauspicious meanings: loss in the same things or in consequence of unpreparedness or by hasty action. Mind the phrase hasty action, which is the opposite of patience and good timing. Paul adds that the Four of Wands can indicate good social standing, influential friends, and graceful interaction with other people. This goes back to Jupiter vibes. Those who have an auspicious Jupiter position in their charts have deep compassion for their fellow men, are graceful, forgiving, and philanthropic. The best leaders are empathetic and benevolent, like Abraham Lincoln and Nelson Mandela. People love such men and women and hold them in high esteem. Last but not least, Paul says this card indicates benefit through travel, shipping, and business with foreign countries. This goes back to the 9th house of long-distance travel and higher education. The 9th house is the natural house of Sagittarius, the third decade of Aries, ruled by Jupiter. Arthur offers the key meanings of unexpected good fortune. Good fortune goes back to the Jupiter influence, but the respective power of consciousness is timing. And timing is a matter of making conscious decisions and measuring the consequences. Hence, the good fortune in question should not be unexpected. Having said that, graceful tidings take place all the time, and Jupiter puts people, seemingly unexpected, at the right place in the right time. If you want to be at the right place and time more often, practice feng shui or horary astrology. Arthur thinks that the Four of Wands predicts beautiful children for a married woman. That's fortune telling, so no comment. But there's a grain of truth here if one thinks of children as a married woman's fortune. According to Arthur, this card shall also indicate country life, a haven of refuge, repose, concord, harmony, prosperity, peace, beauty, and embellishment. Can you see the benevolent power of Jupiter behind these things? However, most of these meanings pertain to the external world and make more sense for the Four of Pentacles. Ataya, a French occultist and the first known professional tarotist, gives the following meanings of contract, agreement, and prosperity. Prosperity aligns with the benevolent power of the Four of Wands. But contracts and agreements are more on the severity side of the Tree of Life, meaning the 3s, 5s, and 8s. Mind also that the 7th house, the house of contract and legal proceedings, is the native house of Libra. And the path related to Libra is karma or justice, which emanates from Gebura, the severity sphere on the Tree of Life. Papus, another French occultist and founder of the Martinist order, offers the meanings obstacles to be prepared for. An obstacle is a manifestation of adversity, and adversity belongs to the severity side on the Tree of Life. If he'd said tidings to be prepared for, that would have made more sense. Jupiter governs all cycles: cosmic, geographical, biological, mental, and spiritual. If we get to know a cycle, we can predict the future to a small extent. This is summed up by the phrase, history rhymes. Seasoned farmers can predict the weather. Experienced women detect hidden red flags and can predict disloyalty. Expert investors keep their eyes on overvaluations and can predict impending market corrections. But mind that such predictions don't lend themselves to exact timing. Experienced people know what's coming, but they can't tell exactly when. Trying to time the stock market was, is, and will be gambling, which is the opposite of timing. Gregor Mather, the founder of the Golden Dawn, claims that the Four of Wands represents society, union, association, concord, harmony, as well as prosperity, success, happiness, and advantage. These are astrological meanings and go back to the influence of Jupiter, which promotes both fortune and social standing. Having said that, the term success is a bit off. Success is a matter of the 7th Sephira Netzach, which means victory. Success is a temporary thing and can be forced. Striking a victory is different from using Jupiter's continuous, benevolent, expanding influence. Madame de Marchand, a 19th century celebrated Parisian fortune teller, said the Four of Wands indicates that someone will slander and deceive the querent, but that this will turn out in her advantage. Somewhere, someone is waiting for her, and she should not let him wait in vain. This is mostly fortune telling, so no comment, but it aligns with Paul's concept of gain after uncertainty. It also aligns with the Jupiterian virtue of proper timing, like then that one should not let some people wait in vain, nor ignore opportunities. The Enlightenment Tower derives its meanings from a holistic and transparent framework. This framework is based on the Tree of Life, the 4 levels of human expression: spiritual, the Wands; creative, the Cups; intellectual, the Swords; and bodily, the Pentacles. Each tarot card represents a power of consciousness. We can use powers of consciousness constructively or destructively, which produces favorable or adverse experiences. Hence, every Enlightenment Tarot card has a 5-fold meaning at its core. Here are the meanings of the Four of Wands. Enlightenment Tarot title is Grace, power of consciousness is Benevolence, the constructive use is Kindness, the destructive use is Leniency, favorable internal experience is Grace, and the adverse internal experience is Disgrace. Few people are aware of the power of benevolence, and there's no proper name for it yet. The universe is a benevolent, orderly system. This system is rational and its progression can be calculated. The square of the Four of Wands in the picture suggests this. If you align your personal interests with cosmic interests, you can increase the influx of benevolence into your life. Benevolence is a power that works undetected but incessantly, like gravitation. Chessed's benevolent influence may put us in the right place at the right time, connect us to helpful or influential people, send guidance our way, concoct synchronicities, drop opportunities at our doorstep, and arrive in some form of good luck. Do you doubt this benevolent power because you hardly get what you want? Grace doesn't care about what you want, it cares about what you need. The spiritual affirmation of the Four of Wands is, from the exhaustless riches of its limitless substance, I draw all things needful, both spiritual and material. Find the word needful. Grace measures its influence. It gives us exactly what we need at the right time. Recollect your past carefully. You will find that you have always gotten what you needed, and that at the right moment. And often you didn't know what you needed until you got it. We easily miss Chessed's influence because we are too occupied with what we want. As mentioned, benevolence works incessantly, but gradually and beneath the surface. Usually we notice its workings after it produced a change in the external world. For this reason, the second virtue related to this card is patience. If something happens to us we are grateful for, we will say, this is grace. But grace is not a spontaneous, unmerited gift of the divine. Chesed does not care whether or not we have earned benevolence. It bestows it anyway. Like the sun that shines upon everybody, free and limitless. We can't force benevolence. We can only make ourselves receptive to it. When the Four of Wands shows up in a reading that pertains to an undertaking, it indicates that the universe got the querent's back and that the querent will have wind in her sails, but that the querent also needs to be patient to let benevolence do its thing. We can misuse the power of benevolence. That happens if we don't measure it. If we only love a child and never discipline it, it will end up with weaknesses. Cancer falls into that category. A cancer is a malignant growth of sick cells that the body, for some reason, doesn't eliminate. We practice benevolence through kindness. Kindness is not just politeness. Kindness is the active exercise of benevolence. Hence, kindness is one of the highest skills a human can gain. Be kind whenever possible. It is always possible. Dalai Lama. The practice of kindness has benevolent physiological and psychological effects on our being. Exercising kindness purifies our consciousness, calms our nerve currents, and enriches our bloodstream. Further, kindness lifts the Mars force to higher energy centers in the body and promotes enlightenment. I hope you enjoyed this installment of the Enlightenment Tarot and discovered an inspiration or two. Please help to spread the light with a like and a share, and don't forget to subscribe. Love and light.